Again, I could have joined Miss USA or a different pageant.
How are you feeling the competition?
I'm feeling really good. You know, now that we're fully in it, I feel like I know more what to expect for the remainder of the 2 months. And yes, it's jam-packed, but I feel like this is really preparing us for if we do win the crown. You know, it's going to be really hectic schedules, early call times. So I'm really, trying to embrace and enjoy every single moment of it. The shoots are really fun, the events are really fun, and the sponsors are just so incredible this year. So having a good time so far, looking forward to the rest of the 2 months.
And you're trending on social media, all of your photos, ha? Grabe naman
Thank
talaga.
you. Thank you. I know it's so nice to see, the positive encouragement on social media. It really, really means a lot to me. And I feel like it gives me the strength to really do my best in the competition.
And you're now being tagged as the face that launched 1,000 wow.
That's
So,
so
diba?
kind. Oh my God. I still am quite awkward when it comes to accepting compliments. It's something I'm trying to work on, but that really means so much to me. And that was something that I was not expecting at all going into this competition because there are so many beautiful women inside and out. I mean, it's just incredible the candidates MUPH has this year. So I'm very flattered. Thank you to anyone who is saying that on social media. Thank you so much.
So, your fans, of course, know you being a celebrity in the US. And but of course, we would like to hear it straight from you. Other than what you've been doing in
Right.
the US, what can you tell more about Kayla Carter?
Who is Kayla? I mean, I guess I can start off by just talking about some things that I love so that people can have a better idea. I am a person who really enjoys deep, intimate conversations. I love traveling. I love going on road trips. I love Mother Nature. I love cats. I'm a cat
Oh.
lady. I love the art of film and cinema. I used to go to the movies a lot back in the States, and I think that's something I get from my dad because he's the same way. But it just doesn't stop there. I feel like when I see a movie I really love, I'll go home and then I'll watch like scene breakdowns and directors' interviews, and I've just always been really fascinated by the creative process of what it takes to make such beautiful and incredible films. What else about me? I really love music, but I didn't inherit the Filipino singing gene, unfortunately.
I was about to ask you to
That's
sing.
something- No, oh my God, I sing so bad, but music is very important to me. But Kayla, to her core, I think to my core, I'm someone who I believe I have a very kind heart, and that's not, that's at risk of sounding self-inflating, but I do feel like that there are preconceived notions about me, and that's something that I've been hearing a lot throughout this competition, whether it be from makeup artists, hairstylists, photographers, other girls. When they get to know me and they first talk to me, that's one of the biggest things they say is like, oh, I thought before I met you that you would be very unapproachable or maybe a diva. And I'm not sure if that stems from my career background or maybe the way I look. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where those assumptions come from. So that's why I like to emphasize my character and my heart, because I think that's what I want people to know most about me. But yeah, that's some fun facts about me so people can have a little bit of a better idea, because really outside of my pageant life, I'm not glammed up 90% of the time, and I can actually be quite introverted as well, which I feel like a lot of people may not expect. So
Anything you miss back home?
there are a lot of things. I'm really, really enjoying my time here in the Philippines, and I see myself staying here for quite a while, even post-competition. But of course, I miss my friends back home a lot. And with the 16 to 13-hour time difference, depending on what coast it is, because my family is back in the East Coast, it can be quite difficult to find time to talk to them because when I'm waking up in the morning, they're sleeping. When they're sleeping, I'm waking up in the morning. So that's something that I miss the most. But I feel like, I always still value my friends and my family, and I make time for them no matter what. So it's doable, it's manageable. But that's the thing I miss most about back home in the States.
So we know you from Netflix, of course,
Yes.
and it's a different kind of experience. This is your
Yes,
first pageant.
definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, how does it feel, competing with, let's say, pageant veterans from here in the Philippines,
Yeah.
while you are just starting in pageantry? My question basically is, do you think maturity and experience give better chances of winning?
I do really think that life experience and maturity is a lot about this journey because, for Miss Universe and Miss Universe Philippines, a lot of this is about voicing your opinion. So I feel like you have to really have a confident sense of yourself and where you stand. And I feel like that comes along with life experiences and maturity. But that's not to say like a certain age means a certain maturity. I think that journey is different for everyone. There are some 18-year-olds where maybe because of their life experience, they're more mature than other 30-year-olds out there. So I think it really depends on each individual. But for my case, yes, although I am a rookie in this competition, um, of course I have things to learn, but I feel like what I lack in pageant experience, I make up for in life experience. So I feel like that's definitely helping me throughout this journey.
And I'm just gonna go to this aspect because you're representing the Filipino community of
Yes.
Northern California. Your mom is from Cebu,
Yes.
right? So of course the Filipino fans are interested to know which Filipino values do you think have been um, highlighted in your household back in Northern California?
I think there's so many things. It's hard to pinpoint one thing, but I think warmth and resiliency are the two that I feel like are most ingrained in myself. I mean, as we all know in Filipino culture, we're very warm and we're
Yeah.
very hospitable people, and we're so quick to welcome others with open arms and really treat them like family. And I feel like my family back home and my family in Cebu, they really, really showcase that, to anyone around. They're very, very kind, warm people, and I feel like I'm very thankful that I grew up in that type of environment because I feel like it's also a testament to who I am as a person too. And resiliency is also a really big one. I feel like Filipinos are known for no matter what hardships or adversity they face, they come out stronger. And resilience is something that I feel like really shows the true spirit of the Filipino people. And my family members, my mother especially, so courageous and resilient. My mom was one of 11 siblings, and she was the first out of her family to move to the States as an adult as a way to help provide for her family back home. And I just think of the courage that must have taken all of the hardships she faced in doing that, because that can be really quite scary. But yeah, I just feel so thankful that I was raised with those values and many, many more. And those are the two main values that I think I would love to showcase on an international stage if I ever had the opportunity, because it really shows the spirit of the Filipino people.
Do you know how to speak Filipino?
I'm learning. I'm trying to learn, and I understand that is something that some people might not like me for it, and that's okay. I understand that not everyone's gonna like me, and I'm at peace with that. But the most important thing I want people to understand is that I am trying to learn, and I will get there one day. It's just a matter of time. I also want people to understand that just because I may not be comfortable or as confident speaking Tagalog yet, that doesn't mean that I didn't grow up in a Filipino household with Filipino values. I grew up eating Filipino food. I grew up watching ABS, CBN, and TFC with my Lola. I grew up with 20 plus Filipino aunts, uncles, cousins living right next door to me. And then I have 60 plus Filipino family members back in Cebu that I would go and visit periodically throughout my life. So I really want people to know that although I may not know Tagalog fluently now, it's really a goal of mine, and I will make it happen, because when I put my mind to something, I will not stop until I achieve it. And I feel like I really want to be a representative of not only overseas Filipinos, but for Filipino Americans, or those of mixed races or cultures who may not feel accepted in either. Because for my case specifically, the area of Florida I grew up in before I moved to California, I was deemed as very Filipino amongst my
Oh.
peers. And that's something that I actually used to get bullied a lot for growing up. And then on the other side of the coin, I've now moved to the Philippines. I've sacrificed a lot to be here, and to some, I'm not deemed as Filipino enough, which can be quite heartbreaking when you feel like you're not fully accepted in either. So I just want people to understand that it's not always easy, but I think what matters the most is the urge to try, the urge to connect with your culture. I could have joined Miss USA instead of Miss
Yeah.
Universe Philippines, which is also another thing that people bring up a lot. But the reason I chose MUPH is because I feel like that's where my heart lies. I grew up watching Miss Universe Philippines. I didn't necessarily grow up watching Miss USA. And I feel very, very connected to my Filipino culture and my Filipino side of the family. So, yeah, I just want people to understand my perspective of that. But I also want them to know that I'm really trying to learn Tagalog.
And it doesn't make you less of a Filipino just because,
Yeah, I
you
think,
don't know.
there's so many overseas Filipinos, and
Yeah.
I think it's a really good thing that MUPH is opening up the competition to overseas representatives as well, because there's Filipinos all over the world,
Yes.
and they need to be represented too. So, yeah.
Wow, grabe naman yun.
Thank
That
you.
was so heartfelt. And I appreciate that you addressed that
Yeah,
concern because, of course, we've had biracial
right.
representatives before. And the fans would always say, of course, the first question is, how Filipino is she to represent
Yeah.
us?
And
And
I really understand that also because I'm representing the Philippines, the Filipino community of Northern California. So I really do understand where the comments are coming from. So,
Filipino represent. All right, mga ka-crown. So at this point, syempre, we would like to give a big shout out to the Miss Universe Philippines organization. Thank you po, Sir Voltaire Tayak, for allowing us to do the interview with the girls. And of course, would like to acknowledge Aces and Queens. Yay. Thank you po for
thank you.
allowing Kayla to sit down with us. And the Miss Philippines California. Hello, thank you din po. And of course, we would like to thank and acknowledge our food sponsor, La Luna Cafe. That's LA_Luna Cafe on Facebook and Instagram. And our venue sponsor, the Vault here in BGC. And syempre, we don't forget the Tasa Mobile Cafe for mobile coffee, milk tea, and pastries. You can check out their Facebook and Instagram accounts. We continue, Kayla, with questions from our Crown community. This one is coming from Jackie Santos from Pasig, and she asks, which do you favor more, inclusivity or individuality? Where inclusivity allows no restrictions, while individuality highlights the celebration of the unique qualities of a specific group. I think this is related because of the removal of the restrictions in
Right.
this universe, but there are still groups who prefer the traditional set of requirements for a pageant. Your take on this one?
Thank you, Jackie, for the question. I do feel like it is really relevant right now. But for me, I don't think that the two are mutually exclusive. I actually think that you can have both. And I personally believe that diversity enriches our world. I think as individuals, we're not made to fit the same cookie cutter mold that I think society likes to put pressure on us to do. And I think it's actually our differences and our unique traits that make us beautiful and that make us special. And just as much as MUPH is about leadership, resilience, advocacy, it's also about authenticity and relatability. And by opening up this space to where you're allowing people of different age groups, different marital status, sexual orientation, gender expression, whatever it may be, think of how many more people you can inspire by them being able to share their stories, because of how many more people get to relate to that. And I think at the end of the day, we need to remember that that is the core of this platform and Miss Universe Philippines. It's to inspire others through our voices and through our stories. So I think opening up the representation is actually a really, really good thing. And I think what we also need to remember is that we need to put our trust in our APs and local pageants, that if they decide to appoint someone, or if someone wins a local pageant and they are of a different age, or they're a mother or a wife or a different sexual orientation, that it's because the AP and the local pageant saw the traits in them that they think we are looking for in an MUPH delegate and a future Miss Universe Philippines. So I think we really need to put our trust in them as well, that they're making the right decision. So that's
Very
my
well
take on
put
it.
in together, no?
Thank
Because
you.
I understand and I get the bottom line is acceptance. When we
Yeah,
accept the
exactly.
individuals, it's when we start including everyone.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
It's a celebration of everyone. Wow. Thank you. Jackie,
Thank
are
you for
you
the question.
satisfied? Of course, I'm sure. Very satisfied. Another question from our crown community. This one is coming from Josephine Bancoro of Romblon. If you are sent to Mexico as a representative, which aspect of being a Filipino would you highlight abroad?
Thank you for that question as well. I think going back to my previous answer, I think the warmth and the resiliency of the Filipino people, because that is what I am most proud of, and I think a lot of other Filipinos feel the same way. And that's also, the main feedback that you get from tourists and other people who have the privilege of visiting our country, that we are so warm. We are very, very kind-hearted people, and I feel like being kind and that warmth can really make a difference in this world. So I feel like that is what I would most want to highlight on an international stage, because that really, again, shows the true spirit of the Filipino people, and I feel like that is what makes us so special.
Mexico, here we come.
Thank you.
Another question from our crown community. This one is coming from Mary Ann Marquez of Tarlac. What advice would you give to young people who may feel discouraged or unsure about pursuing their dreams in pageantry?
I would say to just go for it. It's better to write your own narrative than to have your narrative be because of what other people are saying, and that you should always rise above the limitations that other people put on you on what you can achieve, because there is no one but you that has the answer to that. No one can tell you that you are not worthy of your dreams. That is up to yourself. So if you have a goal, you have a dream, whatever it may be, whether it's pageantry or not, I think it's better to at least try and really give it your best than to live with the regret for the rest of your life, wondering what if. And that's the advice that I've learned throughout my years and my journey, because I also too used to be the person that was too scared or too timid when it came to my dreams, and I would let other people's negative perceptions and opinions about me shape how I thought about myself. So I think that's my biggest advice to people is, we only have one life to live. You really have to take advantage of it, and no dream is too big, to pursue. So
Were those your hesitations also or doubts when you were asked to sign up for Miss Universe Philippines, because you have a very good career in the U.S. as a celebrity, and
Yeah.
then you're leaving that behind in the U.S.
Yes.
for a pageant in the Philippines. Did you went
You know,
go through that?
for me, for this specific case, it was a no question for me. Because I've grown up watching Miss Universe and Miss Universe Philippines my whole life. And yes, I did sacrifice some things to be here. But for me, when I feel that spark and that fire about something, I really try to listen to my intuition and go for it. And yeah, I feel like everything kind of aligned in the way it was supposed to for me to be doing this right now. And yeah, so for me, there was really no question. But I also feel like if I was asked maybe a few years ago when I wasn't as confident and I wasn't as sure of myself, that there would have been those hesitations. So I think everyone has their own journey towards that self-confidence. And when you're ready, you're ready. You'll know you're ready.
Yeah, you would just know.
Yes, yeah.
How competitive is Kayla? After with all of those experiences and in the recent years, how competitive have you become?
I mean, I think this is a competition at the end of the day, so there's always going to be some level of competitiveness. But for me, I really try to only be in competition with myself, because I feel like once you start comparing yourself to others, you just go down that negative rabbit hole. So I only really try to improve on yesterday and try to go from there. And I think it's in my personality. I'm not really the type of person to shove to get in the middle of the picture or whatever. I have this very firm belief that, if you're confident, people will see that and you will shine regardless of if you're in the middle of the photo or in the back of the photo or on the side of the photo, whatever it may be. So I really try to remind myself that every day and just focus on me rather than comparing myself to others. And I feel like that also helps with the pressure of it all because I'm only just trying to improve myself. So I feel like I'm more competitive with myself than I am with the rest of the girls. So I don't know, that's just how I am.
Speaking of competition, the Miss Universe pageant will be held in Mexico, a Latin country, and many pageant fans are definitely looking for a Latina Slayer. And they say that a Latina Slayer is someone who is relatable, who has stage presence and Q&A prowess. Which of these three do you have in your toolbox?
I mean, I would hope that I have all three.
I
but
think so.
Thank you. If I had to pick one, I think one of my really big strengths is Q&A because I feel like I've reached the point in my life now where I'm very sure about who I am as a person and my core, and I'm very confident in that. And I feel like due to my life experiences thus far, I have a really good sense of self and where I stand on certain issues, which I feel like is really important, especially in this competition. And for Q&A especially, because I think people will always tell if your answer is rehearsed and it's not coming from the heart. So I feel like now that I am 27, I'm older, I've experienced more life than, versus when I was maybe 20, 21. That's something I feel very confident in. So, yeah.
Grabe, no? Talaga namang, I agree, Q&A ang kanyang
Thank you.
strength.
Thank you.
We can go all day. How
I know, I
time
could talk to you guys all day.
But we have one final question. So, Kayla, why do you want to win Miss Universe Philippines?
I feel like I'm really ready to embrace all of the responsibilities and both the challenges that come with wearing the crown. As I said before, what I lack in pageant experience, I feel like I make up for in life experience. And for me, this is just such a once in a lifetime incredible opportunity. Me even just competing alone is a dream come true for me. So I'm really, really taking this seriously. And last year I was in a bit of a crossroads, truthfully, where I didn't really know what path or direction to go in. And so I was reflecting and I was thinking to myself, how can I do something that comes from the heart but can also benefit others? And that's, the question I was asking to the universe, God, whatever you may believe in. And I feel like shortly after that, the opportunity kind of just fell into my lap. And as I said before, when you really feel that fire and that spark when it comes to an opportunity, you should really listen to your intuition, which is exactly what I'm doing. And I do feel really ready to take this on, and I do feel like I have what it takes to represent the Philippines, and all of the amazing traits that we have to offer. So yeah, I'm leaving it into the destiny's hands, the universe's hands. If it is my destiny, it will be so, and I'm just trying to embrace and enjoy every aspect of this competition. To my supporters, my friends, and my family, thank you so much for the unwavering kindness that you guys send me every single day. I really read every single message, every single comment, and it really, really gives me the strength to do my best in this competition. Also really want to thank my friends and family back home for their unwavering support and their belief in me. I really appreciate that so much. Words can only describe how grateful I feel about that. And if you want to follow me on my MUPH journey, you can follow me at my socials at KaylaJean.official.